Good morning and happy Monday. Or no, it's not Monday. It's Thursday. Happy Thursday. Today is our very first masterclass for Pause Collective, and I'm so excited to have every single one of you here. If you have any questions as we're going, just drop them into the chat and I'll answer them as they come up. If they are questions that are best saved to last, don't worry, I didn't not see them. I will just save them for the end when we have a little bit of a Q&A at the end. So just to set the tone, I'd like to make sure that we all feel like we can come in however we are that day. Just come in as you are. If you're in a messy bun, if you have no makeup on, if you're in a comfy sweater, if you want your support blanket, if you're fully decked out and looking like a rock star or a supermodel, whatever the case it is, you do not have to dress up for me. I am not going to dress up for you. You are just going to see me as I am, however I am feeling that day or whatever next meeting I have and all those things. So just come in as you are. Please don't feel any pressure or any obligation to put a mask on or to be anything other than just purely yourself. Because today is all, and this collective as a whole is all about just supporting where you're at in this moment. So, let's get started. The awareness reset is our theme for January. You have received your workbook. If you check your email, you will see the direct link in the email that you got to access this call. And if you haven't already started working on that workbook, I highly recommend diving into it. Schedule some time for yourself, either today or this week, or at least sometime this month to really dedicate to yourself and complete that workbook. So we'll dive into a little part of that workbook. We will do some of the workbook together today, but today is mainly a masterclass just to start this process and to really understand what's happening in your body. We're going to talk about perimenopause. We're going to talk about the whole entire 4 stages of menopause. It's called the menopause transition journey. We're going to talk about hormones as a whole, and we are going to be talking about body literacy today. Well, maybe if I can click the right button. There we go. One of the biggest things I want you to know right now, you are not broken. You are not crazy. You are not losing your mind. You are not any of the things that are in your brain. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You're just uninformed. Like I was, like almost every single woman on the planet is when it comes, or at least in America, when it comes to our bodies. There's not a lot of research on our bodies. There's not a lot of information on our bodies. And what is out there, a lot of it is misinformation. So it's not that you're broken, it's just that you were never taught how to read your body. And we are really going to dive deep into that. So most women enter perimenopause with zero education on what to expect. Most women actually are in menopause, or in perimenopause. And this is not a statistic that I have seen. This is just my own clients and what I see working with the hundreds of women that I've now worked with over the past few years, that almost every single woman that I have worked with or am working with now has been in perimenopause for about 5 years before they even come see me. Because the early stages, the symptoms that come, first off, they come potentially decades, if not years, before menopause begins. And they're symptoms that can easily be dismissed and easily be ignored and easily be compartmentalized because we have a million things that we need to do. So, what often feels random, like, man, I'm just forgetting words today, or I like my scalp keeps getting really itchy and I'm not really sure why, or I've been like having some watery ears happening, or we'll go through a bunch of the symptoms. But those random things that we just write off as something that randomly happened that day are actually predictable physiological symptoms that come because of this transition that happens to every single woman as long as she stays alive long enough to witness it. So, another big key insight is that labs often look normal. And the medical term normal, when it comes to labs, does not mean optimal. It means it is within the range of the general public that is in tested for those specific panels. And so when we look at the average American, it is a range of health for the average American. That doesn't mean that that range is the healthy Americans, so the optimal range that you could be in. It just means normal, which is a standard for everyone. So a lot of times I hear women say, my doctors keep saying my labs are normal. My doctors keep saying everything is fine. I'm one of them. I had my doctors tell me for years that my labs were normal, told me I was not experiencing the things that I was experiencing, and basically said I needed to go work out more, go eat better, go hydrate more. All three things I was already doing to like a really obsessive kind of level back when all of this was happening. And a lot of times when we talk about having our hormone panels done, our hormones are constantly fluctuating. There's a lot of hormones we're going to be talking about. And all of the hormones are not just our sex hormones. All of those hormones are necessary for our whole entire body function. And we'll dive into that in a little bit. But when you think about when you were a kid, or if you still go to amusement parks and you're on one of those crazy roller coasters, and they have the camera and they take that picture at the exact moment where you're like, ah, because you're falling down, I don't know, whatever crazy drop it is, and they want to get the best expression on your face. When getting blood work for your hormones, specifically estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, FSH, LH, these are exactly the type of things that is like that camera on the roller coaster ride. So what happens is you are getting a snapshot of the entire ride. You're not getting the entire ride. It's not a video camera that is positioned in front of you that is taking you the entire way through the roller coaster. It is a snapshot of one moment in time. And that's what happens when you get your hormone panels pulled. And this is why most doctors who are certified through the Menopause Society and certified and like done their research and up to date on everything that's going on, they will pull your panels just for a baseline, but they are going to diagnose and treat based on your symptoms, not based on your blood panels. The other blood panels that they're pulling is to make sure that they're giving you things that you need and making sure that your body is able to have the hormones if you were going to go on hormones. So let's dive into more. When you feel off, again, even when your labs look normal, it's like the iceberg. Above the water, you see fatigue, you see mood shifts. You're saying, I'm just feeling off lately. I'm not feeling like myself. I feel like something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint what's happening. That's all above the water. That's what you can see above the surface. Below the surface, we have stress amplifying every shift in our body. We become less tolerant to stress when our hormone fluctuations begin during perimenopause. Our nervous system is very likely already dysregulated because of our habits, but it's becoming even more dysregulated because of the way our hormones are fluctuating. And then again, our hormones are fluctuating wildly, and I've got some diagrams that will show you how wildly they are fluctuating. So hormone fluctuates before they decline. They're going to be all over the place. And there's a really great product you can use that can show you every single day where your hormones are at. And I'll actually just pull it up so you can see what it looks like. And every single day you do, it's a urine sample that you can do right at home. And every single day you take a sample and you pull it through. And so you can see. So, to give an example, I am on hormone therapy, and the gray line is how much my estrogen fluctuates, even though I am actually on hormone therapy. So, the top line is my progesterone. Progesterone, I'm on as well. So, that's always going to look even. But the most fluctuating hormone that we have as women during this time, when you are not on hormone therapy, is estradiol. And when you are on their hormone therapy, that also rings true. So for people who are not on hormone therapy, your numbers are going to look different, your charts are going to look different, but all of these numbers are going to be going kind of in a chaotic standpoint. And that program is called MIRA, MIRA. It looks like a pregnancy test. They actually have pregnancy tests. They have a portion that is for menopause and hormone tracking, and then they have a portion that's for fertility. And so you just get the one that's called the Ultra 4 wand, and it's this little pod, and you take a urine sample every single morning, and you track your hormones every single day. That is the best way to understand what's happening with your hormones for a month or months or however long you would like to do it. Symptoms also come and go really unpredictably, and standard labs again, only capture a moment in time. That's why I recommend getting the Mira so you are able to see what is happening on a daily basis with your hormones. And that still is just a capture of every single day. You're taking, like, they recommend you do your first urination in the morning. And so you're still only seeing what it is every single morning. I mean, if you wanted to spend the money on extra sticks, you could do it throughout the day and just see what's happening. There's a lot of experiments you could do with that, but in the morning is more than enough. So confusion is really common, but clarity is possible, and we will do steps every single month to help you feel more clear, and you will have time with me every single month to ask me any of the questions that are burning for you to have an answer to. So this is the hormones transition timeline. There are four stages of menopause. Premenopause is the stage of life once we have our very first menstrual cycle until we begin to have our hormones start to fluctuate, which is usually in your 30s, potentially in your 40s, depending on who you are. But for me personally, perimenopause started at 32. I have worked with clients who started even earlier than I did. I have clients who didn't start until their mid 40s. I've got clients who didn't even realize they had symptoms and say that it was a complete breeze for them. And then I have clients who are like, this is absolutely hell and fix me, please. And so perimenopause is the transition stage when our hormones begin to fluctuate until menopause. And perimenopause lasts anywhere between 5 and 15 years. And there's a range there because one, it depends on your genetics, it depends on your body composition, it depends on your lifestyle, it depends on your habits. And also, it depends on your body awareness. If you are very aware of your body, you might notice it closer to those 15 years. If you're not as aware of your body and you compartmentalize a lot and you dismiss your body a lot, you might only notice it for closer to 5 years. And so during this time, estrogen is extremely erratic. Progesterone is slowly declining. It's also moving around quite a bit as well, but in general, it's declining. And our cortisol in general is increasing. And the way our cortisol interacts with these two hormones is a whole nother masterclass that we will dive into. But cortisol is a massive factor in what's happening here. And then menopause is one day. It is the 366th day, your full 12 consecutive months without a period. And this is when our ovarian production declines. Our ovarians go into, let's just call them dormancy, and there's no more eggs to release. There is no more follicles to be stimulated. Our body is done with our reproductive years. And then after that day, we are in postmenopause for the rest of our life. Some people still have symptoms in postmenopause, and some people don't. It all just depends, again, on your genetics, your lifestyle, your habits, and so on and so forth. So perimenopause is a transition. It is not a diagnosis. And so here is a kind of crazy look at what our hormones are doing during this time frame. So the kind of yellowish gold is our cortisol. The um, green is progesterone. My brain is not thinking of color names. Greenish teal, whatever you call that. And then the red is our estrogen or orange or however you call that color. And everything is kind of going all over the place. And so our estrogen naturally peaks at ovulation every single month because that is when we are priming our body to be able to accept a sperm, to fertilize an egg, to then have a baby if that's what someone chooses to do. So perimenopause is a transition. It is a time frame where our hormones are fluctuating. It's not an actual diagnosis. Menopause, actually, menopause isn't even a diagnosis. Postmenopause is a diagnosis. And that one we can actually determine based on your blood panels and based on specifically on your FSH levels, which is your follicular stimulating hormone levels. So this is a temporary phase where hormones become less predictable. It involves the brain, it involves the nervous system, it involves your metabolism, it involves pretty much every single part of our body. We have an estrogen receptor on almost every single organ, um, portion of our body pretty much has an estrogen receptor. And so it's not just the ovaries. This estrogen is not just a sex hormone. It's not just a fertility hormone. It impacts so many things. So the big takeaway is this is a whole body transition. It is not a single isolated symptom. It is not just a reproductive symptom or a reproductive decline. This is something that every inch of our body is going to feel because of the way we are as women and how estrogen impacts so much of our body. So hormones shift and our bodies are natural adaptation or naturally, how do you say that? They are natural at adapting. And so we'll have neurological symptoms because we have a lot of estrogen receptors in our brain. Some symptoms could be brain fog, anxiety, tinnitus, vertigo. I had a client who had vertigo for 3 years that was so bad she had to move her head this slowly because if she moved her head fast, she would basically faint or at least fall over. And her doctors were like, it's just allergies, and had her on a crap ton of allergy medication. And after we really dove into her symptoms and everything that was going on, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is actually estrogen related, not allergy related. And we got her on a correct dose of hormone therapy. I work directly in tandem with doctors. I don't prescribe personally, but I work with doctors who do prescribe. And her vertigo was gone after I think about 2 weeks of being on the correct dosage for herself. Then we have sensory issues. Our skin is our largest organ, and our skin has an immense amount of estrogen receptors. Our skin will get more itchy. We'll have auditory sensitivities. We'll have watery or itchy ears. We'll have dryness in our scalp. We'll have crepey skin. We'll start to see a little bit more wrinkles, and our allergies increase as well. A lot of people build um, I'm not doing words very well today. I didn't sleep as well as I normally do. Um, they contract allergies during this time that they never had before, and that impacts our gut as well. And so, physical, joint pain, heart palpitations, fatigue, bloating, weight gain. A lot of times, it's that like, what do they call it? The muffin top or the rubber tire. Everybody has a different name for it, but it's usually all around the belly because our fat cells actually create estrogen. There are many different forms of estrogen. Our fat cells create the least potent form. That's why we tend to get more fat cells during this time because it's trying to compensate for the estrogen that our ovaries are not, well, it's our brain and our ovaries are not creating. And so our body is naturally adapting to one, protect itself because fat is protection, and two, to be able to get a little bit more estrogen into our system. So today is an invitation to not judge what's happening in your body, not to fix what's happening in your body, but just to simply notice what is happening in your body and give that time and give that energy to just be aware and acknowledge and not push aside and not dismiss, but actually give acknowledgement to what's happening in your body. Because our body whispers way long before it screams. And so the early whisper signals are fatigue that doesn't match your effort for the day, word finding issues or brain fog, poor stress tolerance, feeling emotionally reactive, and that changes for two people. I call or for each person, and I call it for me it was either cry attacks or it was rage attacks, and there was like no in between. And then what we do as women, because we are so programmed to push through, is that we power through the fatigue. We normalize having poor sleep. We dismiss our mood shifts as being hormonal or tired or stressed or uh, annoyed that our kids are, being kids. And we just tell ourselves, well, this is life now. This is just what I have to get used to because sometimes previous generations told us that or were told that. But none of that is true. There are very easy and simple steps that we can take to mitigate our symptoms. And maybe I shouldn't say they're easy, but they are simple. And in general, these are just signals from our body. It's not a personal failure. It's not that you're not doing enough. It's not any of those things. It's that these are signals for your body saying, hey, I'm waving a yellow flag. I need you to pay attention to me. And it's your body saying, pay attention to me. And treating our body like we treat our loved ones and actually paying attention to it is really crucial. So, body literacy equals self trust. Every single time our body signals that yellow flag to us and says, "Hey, there's something going on." Your light comes up on your warning sign comes up on your dashboard for your car. It's the same exact thing for our body. It's going boop boop. I need you to pay attention to me. And every single time you dismiss that little boop boop, let's wave the flag, it tells our body it's not safe to communicate with us. And so it will start suppressing those symptoms, and then the symptoms will get worse and worse and worse and worse. So instead of having, just fatigue and being tired through the day, you could potentially have a nervous system crash where you're completely not functional. You could end up having an autoimmune disease contract. You could have chronic illness begin to show up, like diabetes or metabolic syndrome. You could have many, many, many things that your body will do as a way of saying, okay, you weren't listening to me. Now I have to do something to make you pay attention to me, rather than just being addressed when the symptoms come up. So it's really important to start noticing patterns rather than saying and dismissing the symptoms. Whether you have a symptom journal or I have a symptom journal I have a virtual one, a digital one, and I have a tangible one that are both on the website. Or you can just use a notebook and keep track every single day of what's happening for you. I personally think that the journals are really helpful for you because it's directly saying, are you experiencing these things? And you can think about it and say yes or no. Versus when you're just going from recall, we don't remember a lot of things and we dismiss a lot of things as women. So context also really matters. What is your stress like? What is your sleep like? What is your diet like? What are things that are happening? And what are things that your body needs? And again, every single month we are going to dive into a new subject and a new theme. Well, where we will start to tackle all of the things that we're doing to our hormones that kind of hijack them that we don't know because we weren't taught. It's become second nature to us. It's all unconscious habits that we're doing, and we're going to start making them more conscious over as long as you are here with me. So in your journal, or in your workbook, you got 3 reflection questions. When did I first notice feeling different? What have I normalized? And what does my body keep asking for? If you are watching this recording, maybe hit the pause button and write the answers to these down in your work. Write the answers to these questions down in your workbook. Next is our nervous system reset practice. I highly recommend you do this every single day. We're going to start with a nervous system reset, and then we are going to go into a daily ritual. The two things together take 5 minutes a day. That's it, just 5 minutes. So we'll just do a really quick model of what this looks like. So sit up nice and straight. Get both of your feet on the floor. Place one hand on your chest and place one hand on your belly. I want you to pay attention to your hands moving and how they move. And so we're going to inhale to a count of 4. First, inhale and move your hand. So inhale through your belly and raise your right hand. And then inhale through your chest and get your left hand or your opposite hand to move up. And then in exhaling, you're going to notice that you do that in return. Your chest is going to decrease, your belly is going to decrease, and we are going to do that on your own for 2 minutes. But let's just do a couple practices together. So inhale for the belly, inhale to the chest, exhale from the chest, exhale from the belly. It's easiest if you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The slower exhale helps to reset our nervous system. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and that slow exhale to a count of 6. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll notice a level of calm that starts to come over you. And once you have that calm, you're able to do the daily body check-in. This is our daily ritual that we're going to do every single day. It can be done in your car before you leave work and get home. It could be done in the bathroom. It can be done while you're on a walk. It can be done while you're at the gym. It can be done anywhere, while you're in bed, whatever you want it to be. And you're going to ask yourself 3 questions. It's going to take another 2 to 3 minutes. So again, this is 4 to 5 minutes total for your entire day. You're going to ask yourself, what do I feel physically? What do I feel emotionally? And what is it that my body needs today? There are really crucial rules this month. You are not going to be fixing. You are not going to be tracking all of these. There is no perfection. None of these things are happening. It is just every single day for 5 minutes a day. You'll spend half of that time doing your nervous system reset and spend half of that time asking yourself these 3 questions. Awareness without judgment is going to help rebuild that safety for your body. You are giving acknowledgement to what it is that you're feeling physically, feeling emotionally, and you're able to sit and have enough quiet so you can hear what your body is asking for. So, the pause shift. This is the basis of everything I do at the Pause Effect. We have PAUSE is an acronym for pinpoint the hijackers, audit your daily patterns, understand your body signals, simplify your strategy, and then educate and empower yourself. This is the whole basis of everything that I create. And I just like to have this as a screen so you can see that I have a method to what I do. And it's really important that we are discovering what's happening beneath the surface. We are spotting the hidden habits that we have because they've just become unconscious. We are connecting our symptoms and our stress and our hormones together. We are creating a realistic plan, not an ideal plan, not a plan that Sally or Jane or Susie or whoever's doing. We're creating a realistic plan for your life, and we're getting enough education so you can start to advocate for yourself and take back control. So, just a reminder that this is the journey inside the Pause Collective. The first week, you will always get a workbook sent direct to your email. The second week is our Empower Week, which is where you come in today. You have a masterclass with me. We dive into an aspect of that workbook. Week 3 is a live support connection. You'll meet me live. I do this on TikTok for ease of just building engagement on social media platforms. However, if that ends up being uncomfortable for some people, I can look at different platforms to be able to do live on multiple platforms at the same time and be able to see all things at once. And then week 4 is our connect call, which we come back here on Zoom. It's private, it's members only. So week 2 and week 4 are members only. Week 1 and week 3 are public. And so members only are just for you. That is what you are paying for. And you get that one-on-one time with all of us. So I guess not one-on-one, one-on-many time with all of us here live supporting each other. And I'm here to directly answer your questions. I do not record the final calls. The only session I will record this entire time is this masterclass, and it will go up on the website for you to watch and rewatch or catch up on if you weren't able to attend live. And each of the other sessions are not recorded for your own privacy. However, you will have other people there with you hearing you. So if you ever going, I just want time with just Jessica, you were able to book that on the website as well. You just go to Let's Chat on my website, which is thepauseeffect.com, and you can book one-on-one time with me if you need it. So awareness is just the foundation. Today's theme is just the foundation. So January is the awareness reset. We are understanding our baseline. February, we're going to dive into stress and cortisol. And in March, we are going to dive into sleep and recovery. So this month isn't about changing yourself. It's not about changing your habits. It's not about changing anything. It's about understanding yourself, hearing what your body is asking for, and doing that 5 minute daily check in where 2 minutes of it is doing a nervous system reset, and 3 minutes it is answering those questions for yourself, how you feel physically, how you feel emotionally, and what is it that your body is needing in that moment. Because awareness is going to make every next step easier going forward. When you pause, everything changes. You've held it together for everyone else. Now it's time to support yourself. It is in the pause where your power is going to return. And because you showed up today, because you're watching this recording right now, you already accepted your invitation to reset and to rise as the woman that you've always been meant to be before you became the woman others needed you to be. I am going to stop the recording now. I have a few minutes where I can answer questions for anybody who is joining live. And I wish you a beautiful rest of your week, a lovely weekend, and I will see you all live for our Q&A support session next Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye.